What's going on, Guardians? Welcome back to another build video. If you're tired of being locked into Well Warlock or the Prismatic meta, I get it. So am I. Today, we're diving into a pure Strand Warlock build that is insanely fun, over the top with Threadling generation, and yes, is totally viable for in-game content. Let's break this beast down from subclass to weapons, artifact mods to armor, and the synergy itself. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and as always, thank you for watching. Now the subclass, of course we're using Needlestorm because frankly, let's be honest, we don't have another option. But the power just isn't in the super, it is the Threadlings, and oh boy, there's going to be an army of Threadlings. Now for the melee, of course we have to use Arcane Needle, we get 3 charges which can unravel targets, it's essentially Strand Volatile. Then for the grenade, we're opting to go with Threadling Grenade. You throw it, you forget about it, they hunt, they kill, they are beautiful. Now, for the aspects, we are going with Weaver's Call. So when we use our Rift, it'll spawn 3 Threadlings and it'll deploy any Threadlings that you have perched. Essentially, you can have 5 Threadlings perched at once. You use your Well, all 5 will go out. And the Threadlings can also drop off on their own while you take damage. For the next aspect, we are going with the Wanderer. So you throw a Tangle, it can attach and suspend enemies, and also destroying a Tangle will create a suspending burst around it, and Threadling kills can create those Tangles. Meaning, with the amount of Threadlings that we are going to generate, we are going to have the ability to have so many Tangles out there and be able to suspend everything. This build plays like you're commanding your own deadly little Threadling army, and the best part about these Threadlings is they just clean up for you to the point where you don't even realize that adds have been killed. Now, of course, for the fragments, first up, we are going with Thread of Transmutation. While we have Woven Mail active, our weapon kills can create Tangles. Just another way that we can continue to have that suspending Tangle animation. Then there's Thread of Warning. So every time we grab an Orb of Power, we get Woven Mail, which is that 45% resistance to damage. Then there's Thread of Evolution. Our Threadlings will deal more damage and travel farther. Next up is Thread of Generation. So every time just we damage enemies, it will recharge our grenade, giving us our Threadling grenade faster, which just loops back into the rest of the build. Like I said, adds and enemies are going to die before you even have a chance to see them because your Threadlings are basically doing all of the work. But of course, what is a Strand Warlock build that is centered around Threadlings without an extremely amazing exotic to pair it with? And that's why we're going with Swarmers. There's no surprise here, but also there's no competition. Destroy a Tangle, spawn Threadlings, and those Threadlings will unravel targets. It is the heart of the build, and the synergy is unmatched. Now, for the loadout, we're opting to go with something that is meant for the endgame, specifically with champions. Though you can easily swap things in and out depending on the activity that you're doing. If you're not running Grandmasters, I'd opt to go with a primary of Hatchling, a Rocket Sidearm, or an Area Denial in the energy slot, and of course a Strand Machine Gun with Hatchling as well. And of course, come the Edge of Fate, we can easily slot in a new loadout based on the artifact mods. So for this current build, we're opting to go with as much Strand and Hatchling synergy as possible. So for our loadout, our primary slot is going to be the Incisor. This, obviously, yes, we know comes from Trials of Osiris, but the great thing about this is it has insane synergy with the rest of the build. The perks are going to be Hatchling, so basically precision final blows or rapidly defeating targets with this weapon will spawn Threadlings. Then we're also pairing it with Slice, so just by casting our class ability, this weapon will sever targets on hit for a brief duration. The great thing about this is, one, we cast our class ability, we release those perched Threadlings, then we shoot a target, severing them, giving them a 40% reduction to outgoing damage, which just helps aid in our survivability. Now, for the next weapon and our exotic of choice, we are diving into the vault and pulling out none other than Ariana's Vow. Yes, I know this is double special, but your Threadlings are going to be doing so much work for you. This makes running double special so much easier. The great thing about Ariana's Vow is it has Death at First Glance. This has bonus damage when aiming down sights of the opening attack of a shot. Basically, opening shot has more damage. This bonus is preserved if the shot deals precision damage or it strikes an elemental shield. Its intrinsic trait, Looks Can Kill. This weapon fires a shield-piercing ammunition and comes with a scope. It's strong against barrier champions. Breaking a matching shield or piercing a champion's barrier will cause it to ignite. So yes, we're mainly running this for its barrier capabilities, plus Ariana's Vow hits like a truck and is just oh so much fun. Plus it has an insane new ornament in the store and I just had to use it. Now, lastly, for our heavy slot, of course, again, we want to go into as much Strand's energy as possible. So we are going with the crafted Pro Memoria from the Pale Heart. The great thing about this is it's easy to get just by doing stuff in the Pale Heart. It's craftable and it comes with Hatchling, which again will create those Threadlings on precision final blows or rapid defeats. And then it also pairing it with Frenzy. So being in combat for an extended time will increase its duration of damage, handling, and reload basically until we're out of combat. So getting more damage just from the gun itself, plus we're creating more hatchling or more threadlings just by using this, or even our primary, the incisor. Now, if you don't have the incisor and you don't want to play trials, I 100% get it. You could always opt in to use something like the Unsworn Trace Rifle from the Sunder Doctrine Dungeon. It's another Strand Trace Rifle, has the new perk Tear, which causes Sever on precision kills. Again, dealing that 40% less to incoming damage. So that's another easy pick to use. Now, of course, we got to talk about artifact synergy because this is what makes the build really shine. Now, we have Overload Trace Rifle to help take care of overloads. We don't need to worry about Barrier because we have Ariana's Vow that will take care of Barrier champions. And then our Tangles will have the ability to suspend, which will take care of Unstops. Next, we have Unraveling Orbs. So when we pick up an Orb of Power or a Tangle, it's going to grant Strand Weapons Unraveling Rounds, which can also pierce Barrier champions, meaning our machine gun can also pierce Barrier if we have that out. Then there's Vile Weave, so targets that we hit with our Tangle are severed. Then there's Disruptor Spike, which will improve the effects of Exhaust and Sever, meaning, so normally when they're severed, they're going to deal 40% less damage. Thanks to Disruptor Spike, that is going to jump up to 52%. Then there's Elemental Siphon, so rapid final blows with a kinetic weapon or a weapon matching our super will create an elemental pickup matching our super, just meaning it will help create tangles. Next up is Harsh Refraction. Trace rifles are going to deal more damage to targets afflicted by elemental debuffs matching their elemental type, meaning when we sever a target, our strand trace rifle will deal more damage. Then there's Horde Shuttle, so damaging those unraveled targets with a weapon will occasionally spawn threadlings. Next, if you boost that, threadlings will sever targets that they damage. Then we've got Flashover, so when we have maximum bolt charge, we become amplified and those lightning bolts will deal more damage. The way that we're getting max bolt charge is by stunning a champion using Defibrillating Blast. So stunning a champion will grant us max bolt charge, triggering an arc bolt that heals you and jolts combatants. And remember, amplified will give you that 15% reduction to damage, just aiding in survivability. Now, for our last artifact mod, we are opting to go with 2 shreds. So dealing sustained damage to a severed target will unravel them. And defeating a severed target will create a hotspot of strand energy, granting Woven Mail to nearby allies for a short duration. Remember, when you're doing in-game content, if you're dead, you can't do anything. So being able to, one, be amplified, have Woven Mail, but grant allies Woven Mail is extremely helpful. Lastly, for the armor mods, first up on the helmet, we are going with a Strand Siphon to create orbs off Strand rapid final kills, then a special ammo finder and a special ammo scout just to create more special ammo. And then for the gauntlets, we are going to be going with Firepower to create orbs of power off of our grenade final blows. Then there's Impact Induction, which so when we cause damage with a powered melee, it'll reduce our grenade cooldown. Then there's Fastball to throw those grenades further, because honestly, I just hate throwing grenades slow. Now, of course, for the chest piece, always are going with resistance mods that match the activity we're doing. We're also tossing on a Harmonic Reserve to increase the amount of strand ammo we can carry for our incisor, but also for our Pro Memoria. Now, for the Swarmers, we're going with Better Already, so every time we pick up an Orb of Power, our health begins to regenerate immediately. A Strand Scavenger, so when we pick up strand ammo, we will get bonus reserves. Then there's Orbs of Restoration, so picking up an Orb of Power is going to grant a small amount of energy to our ability with the least amount of energy. And lastly, for the Bond, we're going with Reaper, so shortly after we use our class ability, our next weapon final blow will spawn an Orb of Power. Then there's Powerful Attraction, which will automatically collect orbs of power within 12 meters just by using our rift. And lastly, we're going with Special Ammo Finisher. So every time we use a finisher when we have 3 armor charges, it is going to generate special ammo for the entire fire team. So there you have it, Guardians, an insane pure strand warlock build that is centered around Threadling generation, where they do all of the work for you. If you enjoyed this video, again, please feel free to leave a like, drop a comment below if you've used this build or if you're going to try it out. And of course, if you are new, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support more than I could ever say. But as always, Guardians, thank you so much for coming and watching, and I will catch you in the next one.